Yes, I think you should watch Invincible.
Uh-huh.
There were 4 listed as missing on the database. This one is more of a personal record. The chief engineer's office is up ahead. I'll tell you more when we get there. Okay, that's the office up ahead. Okay, so the origin of the Iacon battle circuit, or the name anyways, it came from the old game I used to come from before I came over here to PS4. It used to be called Transformers War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, that were games back on the PS3. Fall of Cybertron, or FOC as we called it, and War for Cybertron we called it WFC. WFC didn't get remastered. Uh, FOC did get remastered onto PS4, but it didn't last very long in its era. My project for the Iacon battle circuit came around the beginning of 2018. Because before it became a project here that you guys know in the FGC, it was originally the continuation of a tournament that I hosted with clans back in the Transformers competitive scene with my former YouTube partner before he quit YouTube. His name was Rodimus Prime. Me and him came up with the idea of recreating the Four Horsemen's tournament, which was it was a founding fathers competition that was made in the Transformers community back in 2010. It's been years since that had happened due to a lot of people having a huge fallout in the Transformers community, but still being in the Transformers scene somehow due to GameFAQs and Reddit for the video games. So we went on ahead and launched the idea. It was originally called the Prime Brothers Tournament. The whole idea of the Prime Brothers Tournament was more or less the same layout as the Iacon Battle Circuit was, to the competitive protocol of that video game franchise and that general video game community. So I pitched the idea back in GameFAQs in mid-February of 2018 to try to see how many people I could get on board to the idea of wanting to sign up for a tournament. That way you have another type of tournament that can be in the community aside from a clan battle tournament, which was what we generally did year after year, is do clan battles of 4v4, 5v5, 6v6, and you get the idea. So the idea started off good. I had a total of 16 competitors that wanted to do just a one-on-one tournament, because that's what it was originally laid out to be. So instead of it being a group battle, group 4v4, 5v5, it was a one-on-one with a set class. You either be a scientist, scout, destroyer, titan. Best of 2 games, 10 minutes each. The one with the most points of both game tallies progresses through to the next round. And this is done on both people's hosts, so it is fair, because in some clan battles, host does have an unfair advantage sometimes, which is why you do have to have either the ref or somebody have an unbiased host. That way it doesn't favor one or both sides. Because there were a lot of hosts that were very different back then that could also sway the decision or sway the influence of the games, of how a game goes sometimes. As the competition went on for that tournament, it didn't stay well with a lot of people, and a lot of people became very complacent and lazy about wanting to continue through with the idea. I have to almost mother a lot of people to tell them to do their matches. That way it updates the board. I don't have to sit there and systematically nitpick over all of your guys' games to tell you need to fight this dude by this date so I can update it on the scoreboard, or you both are disqualified. And nobody did it. They all want to sign up for the tournament, but none of them went through it and did their matches constructively as they needed to. And one of them, had I not been there, almost tried to cheat the other dude out. And unfortunately, I had to lay down the ruling, and I had to disqualify him and progress through the other person in his place, even though the other dude was better than him. I still had to push him through because you took the shittier route, and I lost a friend over it. But I don't regret what I did because I did it to uphold the value of something that I created and something that I believed in, and I can't have it be tarnished or look the other way because the dude's my friend. You gotta follow the rules. Just as if the same shit happened to me, I expect you to also kick me out. The brackets went from being 16 players down to 8 players. It was a tournament that was only supposed to last a month, but it ended up lasting 2 months, a little over 2 months, because of the laziness of 2 brackets that were dragging their feet trying to get a specific date until I just needed to intervene here because I gave 2 deadlines on when I needed the first one done by, and since something was happening IRL, that's fine, I pushed it back, but it should be any other excuses after that. Since I'm free right now, I want the both of you here right now to do this damn match right now, get it out the way, and progress. And it'll be on my host, that way there's no host differentiation between either of you in case you guys are procrastinating because you don't like each other's hosts. So I went on ahead and did that. The tournament did wrap up after 2 more weeks after that in order to get the last dude together for something. I ranted a lot on GameFAQs about that idea, the conclusion of it, and just I'm not happy with the fact that it took so fucking long for people to go through with everything. Like, I don't appreciate having to mother a whole competitive field to do one job that you guys can do all along. But I told Straxus that if we do get another chance at doing this, I want to do the tournament again, but I want to do it with reliable people, and I want to start with doing it with adults first to fund the idea and to get the idea off its feet. I don't want to keep relying on kids anymore, because that shit's really going to keep pissing me off if I got to keep relying on kids to do grown folks' business. Because as the game went on up until its death, there were more kids in the scene than adults, which made sense because adults moved out of the scene competitively because they didn't have the interest to competitively compete with kids. Low key, it's actually it's an ego issue because adults don't like being showed up by kids. Because in that community, kids were a lot more talented than adults if you gave them the ability to prosper, which is ultimately what you want to do in passing the torch from generation to generation. And then when the community died off, I saved the idea's general blueprint just for another idea, and I took it with me to another community. I told Straxus if he wanted to try and have the idea or be a part of the idea. He said he didn't want to be a part of the idea's continuation, so it was just my show. So I wanted to share it with him because it was something that was really special between us, that I enjoyed delving into with him at the time. Both of us enjoyed playing Transformers for many years. So when I came over here to PS4, I had the idea originally on Destiny, Rainbow Six Siege, and on Xenoverse before it came over here to Fighters. Rainbow Six Siege, a whole lot of people turned away my idea of a whole one-on-one based tournament. Reddit and GameFAQs both, because they feel that there's no point in one-on-ones happening when you have fucking customs in Rainbow Six Siege to do one-on-ones. A bunch of ignorant ass plats and plat wannabes on Reddit and GameFAQs just talking out their asshole about some bullshit that they engage in but don't want to live up to because they enjoy the team-based environment that Rainbow thrives off of, rather than the one-on-one settings that you ultimately end up with. What else is it? Destiny. That was the same thing that had happened after a while, because I was one of the earlier ones in the community before Forsaken's era, before the era of Forsaken and Black Armory, that tried to found an idea of a one-on-one tournament. That way it allows people to structurally engage on Destiny for a purpose. Because Twitch and Pepsi, they took no more competitive interest in Destiny. So all these people and streamers that are coming in there now saying that they're pro Destiny players and all that dumb shit, all of them are just bullshitting. Because there's literally no competitive platform for Destiny now other than Trials of Osiris. And Trials is exclusively elitist because people only care about KDs in those shitty cancerous communities. Which you would think an idea of a tournament would prosper in such an environment. Oh boy, would you be wrong. And then Xenoverse, I had an idea that I pitched to 3 YouTubers over there on Xenoverse's scene. 3 YouTubers before they all died out. I had one that I pitched to the Blood Kai before we moved to PC. I had one that I pitched to the official Nason, Goku the Gamer. He was a YouTuber on Twitch and on YouTube. His name was called the official Nason. And then third was one I was going to try to pitch to Syriax before somebody stopped me from making a really stupid mistake in doing that. So I pitched it to those forums and to those respective Discords. This is when I knew what Discord was at the time, when I first made the full conversion to PS4. Trying to pitch the idea of the tournament, a Blueprint tournament at that time, was almost a waste of time. Because I felt... Why was it a mistake? I felt like it was a mistake because like I could make casual content on Xenoverse at the time, because I used to make casual content that here and there just from stuff that I loved playing, but I didn't ritualistically do it like an actual Xenoverse content creator. And the problem is because I'm a small person with a big idea, that said big person with a big idea or big platform could just happen to steal my idea and pass it off as his own, and it would be unchallenged. It would be my idea, and he knows that, but he can take it, and I can't say shit about it. Because it's his word against mine, and it's his clout versus my clout. So even though I could easily say and I could give proof that it's my idea, the man could easily drown that out, and his fan base, player base, whatever it is that suck him off, or him or her off, could just disown the idea. Did you know him? Syriax, no, I don't know him personally. The Blood Kai, I don't know him. The official Nason, I did know. I trusted him with the idea because I know Nason wouldn't cross me. Because I was trying to make that idea happen for many years. Trying to come up through the competitive Xenoverse scene. And I wanted to try and start by making a CAC-based tournament for just people can use their custom-based characters. But it would all have a running theme. And then certain CACs or certain Super Souls would be banned from use, and specific builds for select species would be banned. That way there wouldn't be any use of broken characters, because there were broken CAC builds that would essentially eliminate difficulty of PvP. So I passed the idea to Nason. So since Nason has a competitive platform and he knows dozens and dozens of actively constructive Xenoverse players, some hackers, some non-hackers, but they're sensible hackers. Like, they use it to... It was a bullshit era back then where people who did hack the game or were trying to mod the game There were some kids that also had access to mods, but didn't use them in the disrespectful way to destroy the game like other players did, and did abuse that you ran into, which did ultimately kill Xenoverse's competitive environment entirely. It was just a matter of time. Like, all the DLC that they put in Xenoverse 2, that's good. Keep a good thing going. But the PvP is deader than dead because of them. So all you can enjoy is just parallel quests at this point, or private competition, such as what it is I was pitching. You can't go online without running into bullshit, mods, or some type of DDoSing trouble. So, to recap, alright, idea on Transformers went through, but a lazy community killed the idea. I took the idea with me to PS4 when I made the conversion to PS4. Destiny, it didn't have a chance. People ignored me because my KD didn't reflect my goals, or my KD doesn't reflect the whole idea of the knowledge and all the shit I know. Like, you can have a 1.2, 1.3 KD in Destiny, but apparently that means shit to everybody else. Like, dude, I've been playing Destiny for 6 years. Why the fuck does KD need to matter? I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I've been playing this game before you even knew what the fuck it is. And you tell me what it is I have to do. Just the fuck is. Rainbow Six Siege didn't have a chance. Xenoverse 2, it had a chance, but it couldn't get anybody on board with it because everybody thought it was a stupid idea. It thought it was some stupid boomer idea. And that's when I started hearing that stupid word. So I just scratched the idea. And then when I came over here to Fighters, I slowly reconstructed the name of the idea, looked at the blueprint for how I can adjust my tournament outline from how I had it in those communities and those platforms, and adjust it here. So I went on ahead and rechanged a couple of things around. I titled it, instead of it being the Prime Brothers Tournament of One idea, the R633 tournament for Rainbow, or the Guardian games, or my version of the Guardian games. And then Xenoverse, I just called it the tournament of Kais is what I called it on Xenoverse. Although I think I'm gonna try and save that idea for a Tournament of Champions themed tournament I'm gonna make on Xenoverse, on Fighters. If I can get enough champions that I can crown on Iacon, I'm gonna try and see if I can make a tournament that's themed just to that, so that way that idea doesn't die. And so I shifted the idea. How old? I'm 30. And so I shifted the idea here, and I changed the name to Iacon Battle Circuit. Well, Iacon essentially. I was gonna call it the Iacon Decagon, because I was gonna try and make it Transformers themed, since the idea originally came from Transformers. But I decided, wait a minute, let me spruce this around a little bit and make it a little bit more ideal for what I'm doing. So that's why let me go Iacon, since Iacon is the home of the Autobots, and I'm an Autobot enthusiast. Battle Circuit. So I.B.C, Iacon Battle Circuit. And I had to think about it for a couple of days when I was trying to write out the patent idea. I tried to run this by a few people in my circle. I ran it by a few people to see how this sounds as a tournament idea for the name. A few people thought it sounded whack. A few people thought it sounded pretty good. So I didn't make a poll for it because I didn't have Twitter at the time. I had it now. And I just went on ahead with the idea, and I decided, you know what, it's my idea, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just go with what sounds right to me. Iacon sounds right to me. I want to keep a Transformers theme going with my work, and everywhere I go, I want to keep the spirit of Transformers alive with me, because I really care about Transformers. But I just have to make sure that it can be my own creativity and not delve back to the brand too much, but just have the theme. And so that's why I kept Iacon. So Death, there you go. That's basically the story on why Iacon Battle Circuit is named Iacon.